Okay, I believe we are in. So we're gonna talk about paperwork. So paperwork. First thing we're gonna see is about. Okay, let's start with this form. So liability release is about the non-agency disclosure and knowledge agreement. Also about liability release and assumption of risk agreement. So this is explaining uh, what's the risk about scuba diving, and then are you agree with all the risks that Patty tell you, and agree that your instructor is released from liability and stuff like that. It's same with any training organization. Yeah, so you can read about it later on. Don't bother too much about it. And then the standard safe diving practice statement of understanding. This is our second paperwork. Yeah, please read before you signing in. There's a couple of things that you need to read about. It's mostly the basic rule of scuba diving. Yeah, we tell you in advance before you start taking scuba course. Yeah, you maybe have a lot of question. What is these things? What is ascent too fast to the surface and stuff like that, but it's okay. Yeah, you will have an explanation on your theory later on. Yeah, just agree with it. And then the most important thing for me, in most cases people come to a dive center asking, oh, can I do my scuba diving course? Of course you can. We need to do some medical statement thing. This is the paperwork that many people have problem with. So there's I would say about 20 questions or more about your healthiness. Yeah, so all question above on this paperwork you need to say no, write no on all of that question to be able to join the course. But if you have any yes in one of the question above, it's not the end of the world. What you need to do is ask your doctor, right? Ask your doctor, print your name. Your doctor need to sign that you able to diving. There is no medical condition that your doctor find for you to start a diving course. Yeah, if your doctor say, okay, my patient have asthma or my patient have operation a couple of years ago, but I don't think they have any problem to do a scuba diving course. Yep, doctor sign, then you're good to go. Yeah, so that's not the end of the world. That's why I need to say to you, this medical question is really important for you before you go further away from your home. Let's say you go to Bali, want to take a scuba diving course. You need to make sure that your healthiness is good enough, and then you are passing this form to start the diving course. Otherwise, if you are already there and then you need to call your doctor, it's a little bit tricky. You still can doing it, yeah, but it's a little bit tricky. So make sure this form is clear. Okay, so and then the last form is mostly for your instructor. The students only need to fill this general information: your student name, mailing address, blah blah blah. And it's also, yeah, and the rest, I'm sorry, the rest is gonna be the instructor that will fill in. Okay, on this paper, yeah, so we're gonna talk about paperwork, and second one we're gonna talk about the watermanship assessment, which is the second things that I told you before. You need to be prepared before you start your scuba diving course. Okay, so on this form it will say, with this version it will say there is a watermanship assessment First is 200-meter yard or swim. I'm sorry, 200-meter swim or 300-meter yard mass snorkel fin swim. Yeah, so you need to be able at least swimming for 200 meter. Yeah, it's not a timing a skill, but you cannot do it in 3 days. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, if you cannot finish it in 1 hour, then some instructor will cut you off. Then you need to do some swimming tests later on. Okay, and then also a 10-minute survival float. Yeah, so you need to be able to float on the water for at least 10 minutes. Yeah, because in case of emergency, you can still float. Yeah, without any equipment. Skin diving skill, your instructor will teach you how to do this because this is part of the skills. Yeah. Why I'm telling you this? Because if you want to do a scuba diving course, you need to be able to swim and then to do a float, because it's not a swimming lesson. And yeah, you need to be able to do this before scuba diving. That's the ideal way, I would say, you can do it. Otherwise, you will take longer time before you go to the ocean, because if you cannot swim when you start open water dive course, you will take very long time to finish all the skills before you can go to the ocean. So this is what I really tell people, especially people that want to start open water course. They need to be able to swim 200 meter again one more time and then float for 10 minutes. Yeah, for skin diving skill, you will learn when you are doing the course. Yeah, dry suit orientation, you don't have to do it because we are in the tropical area, except you do your course in the very cold area like Iceland, Norway, Swiss lake or something like that. Then you need to have a dry suit and then you need to do a dry suit orientation. I myself never use a dry suit because I only dive in the tropical water, so you don't have to worry about it. So that's the two part, your paperwork and your ordermanship assessment that you need to prepare before you start your diving course. And yeah,